Alcoholics Anonymous isn't just about quitting drinking. Alcoholics Anonymous is also a cult religion, one that uses alcoholism as a hook to get people to join. The sister organization, Narcotics Anonymous, uses drug addictions in the same manner. AA, NA, and all of the other 12-step clones have the goal of getting everyone to practice the 12 steps, which include commandments to seek knowledge of and carry out the will of God, as they hear God dictating His orders. The co-founder and leader of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill Wilson, plainly declared, "At the moment we are trying to put our lives in order. But this is not an end in itself. Our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God." The Big Book, 3rd edition, William G. Wilson, page 77. And remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power, that one is God. May you find Him now. The Big Book, 3rd edition, William G. Wilson, pages 58-59. AA began as a branch of another cult religion called the Oxford Group, which was the creation of an evil fascist renegade Lutheran minister named Dr. Frank Nathan Daniel Buchman, who actually admired Adolf Hitler and praised the Gestapo leader Heinrich Himmler as a wonderful lad. The co-founders of Alcoholics Anonymous, William Griffith Wilson and Dr. Robert Holbrook Smith, were both enthusiastic true believer members of the Oxford Group cult, and they simply adapted Buchmanism to their own ends when they created Alcoholics Anonymous. For all practical purposes, Alcoholics Anonymous is simply Frank Buchman's cult religion dressed up in a different suit of clothes. The AA religion pushes a concept of God that is worse than medieval. According to AA, God is a fascist dictator, an authoritarian, vindictive Old Testament-style patriarchal God who will kill you with a painful slow death by alcoholism if you don't believe in Him, and constantly confess your sins to Him, and grovel before Him, and seek and do His will every day. According to Bill Wilson, God uses the lash of alcoholism to drive people into the AA religion, where they will find endless serenity and gratitude while working as slaves of God. The Manual of Alcoholics Anonymous is also named Alcoholics Anonymous, but is popularly called the Big Book. All of Chapter 4 of the Big Book, We Agnostics, covers just one subject: how all agnostics and atheists must be converted to having the same religious beliefs as the author Bill Wilson. It is not about how to quit drinking. Wilson actually instructed people to abandon human intelligence and reason, and embrace blind faith in the realm of the spirit. And then the recruiting manual in Chapter 7 of the Big Book teaches that other people's religions are inferior to AA beliefs, because those other religions didn't keep those people from drinking. As if the goal of all religions is to keep people from drinking. The 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous are not spiritual principles. They were cult practices that Bill Wilson got from Dr. Frank Buchman's Oxford groups. The 12 steps are a recipe for building a cult religion, not a formula for quitting drinking. The 12 steps do not even tell you to quit drinking, or to help anyone else to quit drinking either. The 12 steps don't even mention sobriety, recovery, or health, but they do mention surrender to the cult, and the going recruiting for the cult, and guilt-inducing confession sessions. The 12 steps also mention God, directly or indirectly, in 6 of the 12 steps. The 10 Commandments of Judeo-Christian religions mention God fewer times than that. Only 4 or 5 of the 10 Commandments refer to God, directly or indirectly, but the AA true believers still insist that AA is not a religion. 7 of the 12 steps, steps 4 through 10, are designed to induce guilt in members by having them make long lists of every sin they ever committed, and every fault, moral shortcoming, and defect of character they have, and then they have to confess it all to another member and God. Then they make another list of everybody they ever hurt or offended, and confess that, and try to make amends. And then they have to repeat the whole process again and again for the rest of their lives. The 12 steps tell people to surrender their wills and their lives to God or higher power or the AA group, and to pray to God or higher power or the AA group, and then the 12 steps tell people how to pray and what to pray for. But the AA true believers still insist that AA is not a religion. 12-step enthusiasts declare that the 12 steps, just like good old-fashioned snake oil, will cure anybody of anything. They claim that the 12 steps are equally applicable to everybody, from alcoholics to drug addicts to gamblers, from compulsive shoppers to emotional wrecks to rape victims, from divorcees to diabetics, from schizophrenics to fat people. The 12 steps really do have just as much to do with being a rape victim as they have to do with being an alcoholic. Absolutely nothing. The 12-step true believers can make such sweeping grandiose claims about the broad applicability of the 12 steps because those 12 steps are not really about alcoholism at all. The 12 steps have absolutely nothing to do with alcoholism. They are all about converting people to belief in a cult religion, and then recruiting more new cult members and indoctrinating them. That's what those practices did for their creator, Dr. Frank N.D. Buchman, and that is what they still do. So the 12 steps really are equally applicable to everything from drug addiction and alcoholism to compulsive shopping and being a rape victim, because the steps have nothing to do with any of those things. Even the children of alcoholics are supposed to do the 12 steps in organizations like ACOA, Adult Children of Alcoholics, Al-Anon, and Elateen. Obviously, the 12 steps can't really be a program for quitting drinking, because those children don't drink alcohol, and they never have. Yet the wives and children and even close friends of alcoholics are all supposed to be indoctrinated into practicing the guilt-inducing 12 steps, just because they have some relationship with an alcoholic and have supposedly been infected with a spiritual